Well, speaking of using nostalgia and milking nostalgia, our next story is about the Spinal Tap sequel. And I happened to see a clip over the weekend with Harry Shearer as Derek. I forget his last name. Derek, the guy from Spinal Tap. And it seemed a little like forced. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of like, you know what? Like, was anyone really asking for this?
Yeah, no.
And my feelings on Spinal Tap 2, especially now, because like back in the day, I wasn't a huge Maiden fan, and I always thought they were kind of like making fun of Maiden.
Yeah, a little bit.
Homeboy to the right even looks like Bruce Dickinson a lot. Like, and my takeaway was like, wow, even though Spinal Tap kind of like was mocking Maiden a little bit, like Maiden's more relevant than ever. And it's kind of like their stupid little thing was, I don't want to hate on it too much because it did.
No, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Elements to it. And it wasn't just attacking Maiden, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, let me read this real quick and we'll.
Yeah.
So Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, the sequel to the iconic mockumentary. This is Spinal Tap will receive a theatrical release September 12th. Bleecker Street has acquired U.S. distribution rights for Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, which reunites director Rob Reiner, your hero and mine, with Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer as they reprise iconic roles as the legendary heavy metal band Spinal Tap in this long-awaited sequel. The indie studio, founded by Andrew Karpin in 2014, also landed rights for the original This is Spinal Tap, which has been newly restored and will be re-released in theaters over the summer. That new version will also hit digital and streaming platforms, making it the first time the film has been available digitally in years. Reiner has returned to direct and write, and original stars Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer are reprising their roles as Nigel Tufnell, David St. Hubbins, and Derek Smalls, that's his name, respectively. Reiner will also return as the documentarian Marty Dilberg. Is that the DeBerge? In the sequel, the fictional heavy metal group reunites after a 15-year hiatus for one final concert. Music legends Elton John, Paul McCartney, Garth Brooks, and Trisha Yearwood are all set to make cameos. So happy to be working with the folks at Bleecker Street who are passionate about keeping Tap's legacy alive, and happy to give Marty DeBerge another shot at relevancy, Reiner said in a statement. We feel privileged for the opportunity to work with Rob Reiner and the brilliant minds behind the original This is Spinal Tap to be part of a film that has resonated with so many, said Bleecker Street CEO Andrew Karpin and President Kent Sanderson. This is Spinal Tap isn't just a movie, it's a cultural touchstone that pioneered mockumentary genres and left an indelible mark on both film and music. Returning to this world through Spinal Tap is an extraordinary chance to celebrate its legacy while creating something fresh for both new and devoted audiences. There's one more piece of this. The Spinal Tap sequel will also see the return of Fran Drescher, who will reprise her role as the band's publicist, Bobby Fleckman, from the original 1984 movie. I have a low-key crush on Fran Drescher, still from the Nanny era. The film will also feature newcomers John Michael Higgins, Jason Acuna, Dawn Lake, Nina Conti, Griffin Matthews, Carrie Goodman, Chris Edelson, and musician Paul Schaefer. So that's what I saw over the weekend, was a clip with Paul Schaefer talking to In 2022, Reiner told Deadline about the decision to release a new Spinal Tap movie. For so many years, we said, nah, it wasn't until we came up with the right idea for how to do this. You don't just want to do it to do it. You want to honor the first one and push it a little further with the story. As for the movie's premise, Reiner said they've played Albert Hall, played Wembley Stadium all over the country in Europe. They haven't spent any time together recently. The idea was that Ian Faith, who was their manager, has passed away. In reality, Tony Hendra passed away. Ian's widow inherited a contract that said Spinal Tap owed them one more concert. She's basically going to sue them if they don't do it. All these years and a lot of bad blood we'll get into, and they're thrown back together and forced to deal with each other and play this concert. So there you have it, a preview of Spinal Tap.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like movies have lost their touch. I don't know. Quentin Tarantino kind of had this thing I saw where he's talking about how like Hollywood and the United States like really cared about their movies back in the day, and I feel like now it's just rehashes of old movies. There's nothing new. Like,
You know
show me
what?
something new, you know?
Yeah, you know what's happened? It's the monetization factor.
Yeah.
Because instead of like going, oh, hey, here's a great movie idea, let's make it and put up the money and take a risk, these companies have bean counters that are like, oh, well, if we do this product has a built-in audience and we can expect like this many people to see it and maybe get this many so it's all like focus grouped and like it's all about
Yeah.
how much money it's all some
Instead of the
profit-driven.
art.
Yeah, there's the actual idea of like, hey, let's make a fun movie that audiences really like or that we want to make is totally lost now.
Yeah.
Where you do see it a little bit more with some of the indie movies and like, you know, because of the way that entertainment's been democratized through digital with like Netflix series and Amazon series. Like, I mean, the most creative, cool stuff happening in film in the last like 20 years has been like Breaking Bad, for example, or
well,
what's that show called
ties into
on
music
Amazon? The
too.
Boys. Yeah, same thing. Music,
Yeah.
honestly. Well,
Yeah.
Dude,
Just to me that like that everything is too like overdone. Like the production on metal songs, it's way too polished. Instead of being raw and being artistic, it has a lot of, you know, too much perfection behind it.
Yeah, honestly, I was trying to listen to some new bands over the weekend and just like a lot of the new stuff that's coming out is pretty boring, but